Hey, what's up? The update was rolled out for next-gen consoles and focuses on stability, some connectivity problems, and a few gameplay tweaks that the community's been flagging for a minute. What probably grabbed the most attention among players was the fix for the companion app connection issue. A number of players were getting blocked from linking or seeing expected changes propagate through the app, which is annoying if you use the companion for stuff like transfers or ultimate team management on the go. This patch applies a fix so that connection attempts are less likely to fail, which should make those quick off-console moves less of a gamble. On top of that, there's a general batch of online stability improvements meant to reduce crashes and weird connection time errors. Nothing flashy, just the kind of back-end work that makes the whole experience feel more consistent. Another practical fix you'll appreciate if you're chasing objectives is the corrected tracking for the Score in 25 challenge in the Football Fanatics Week 2 objectives. Previously, progress with that specific objective wasn't reliably registering, which meant players could score perfectly and see no progress. Maddening if you were trying to nail weekly goals. The tracking has been patched so those goals now properly count, saving you from wasting time or repeating matches to get credit. That's the sort of small thing that can make your grind feel fair again. On the gameplay side, there are some targeted changes to goalkeeper behavior and shot physics. Some goalies at times made overly precise parries that produced unnatural clearances, and those have been tuned so parries feel more consistent and believable. Likewise, the frequency and behavior of knuckleball-style shots have been adjusted. Players and content creators had spotted moments where those unpredictable dip and swerve finishes were showing up much more often than intended, which could skew match outcomes in ways that felt unfair. This patch tones down those anomalies, so saves and goals feel more in line with player input and expectation. Again, not a dramatic overhaul, but a focused tweak to bring the feel back to where it should be. Ultimate Team received a couple of quieter but meaningful updates as well. One notable change is that training camp evolutions will be made available to launch from inside Ultimate Team, in addition to being accessible via the companion app, so people who prefer to manage everything without hopping between platforms should find it slightly more streamlined. There are also assorted internal fixes and quality of life adjustments across the mode that don't rewrite the UI, but patch up bugs and polish workflows that people had called out. Small adjustments like these often fly under the radar, but when they land, they cut down on the friction of doing routine tasks. If you're into career mode, you'll notice a few interface and options changes that aim to give managers more control and better feedback. The update adds a new contract renewal setting that gives more granular control over how player negotiations behave during a save. So if you want contracts to be more lenient or stricter by default, there is now a setting to reflect that preference. Plus, there's a new social media panel in the career UI that surfaces active challenge goals and some polish to the scheduling and planner visuals. It's the kind of UX update that doesn't change the core mechanics, but makes the managerial experience feel tighter and more informative. There's also a straight-up correction to a high-profile player item, the Toti icon. Toti card had misaligned passing and dribbling attributes, and that's been corrected back to the intended values. Item stat corrections like that are crucial because they affect chemistry decisions, lineup choices, and online matchmaking balance, so it's good to see obvious mismatches addressed quickly. Beyond that, the patch contains a grab bag of smaller fixes across clubs, audio-visual assets, and cosmetic elements, badges, logos, kits, and so on, plus general stability patches to reduce crashes and unexpected behavior. Most of these are the sort of housekeeping notes that keep the game's skin and polish consistent. If you're someone who watches patches for the meta, the takeaway here is that the developers focused on reliability and feel over adding new toys. Matchmaking and online access got priority in the fixes, which is sensible given how central those systems are to the player base. The playability adjustments, goalkeeper parries, and knuckleball tweaks show the dev team is trying to dial down volatility where it creates frustration rather than fun. And the career and ultimate team bits show a continued push to make manager and club workflows smoother without ripping up long-established systems. Overall, this patch is one of those maintenance-style updates that won't dominate headlines, but will quietly improve the day-to-day experience for a lot of players. There's a clear emphasis on fixing gameplay edge cases and smoothing out systems that power progression and online features. If you're someone who's been hit by the companion app issues, objective tracking bugs, or those odd goalkeeper and shooting moments, you'll probably notice a meaningful difference after this one installs. Otherwise, expect fewer little annoyances and a slightly more consistent match feel, which, over the long run, makes the whole game more enjoyable.